Hello YouTube, Artemis here, and we're going to talk about books today. Well, I was on another YouTuber's channel and I was reading comments and talking about books and everything, and the comments were really negative about certain authors. And granted, some authors you have to take their work with a grain of salt. With any book, you really have to take everything you read with a grain of salt. You have to use your own judgment to make decisions, whether you're going to accept something in a book, whether you're not, whether you think it's BS, whatever. But you also have to remember this: not everybody practices the same way you do. Not everybody was taught the same way you were taught. So, and I've learned that a lot here recently from different people, that it's your intention, it's how you feel that something should be done as. So my question is this: is it fair to take these authors and judge them based on their books? It's their experiences, it's their practice. They're sharing their knowledge on how they see it with the general community. So no, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same as you see it. Now, do I think basics should be pretty much universal? Yes, I do. But in general, you know, people have their own experiences, their own lives, their own way of doing things. They're sharing their knowledge of how they do things with you. So it's not right to go on to another person's YouTube page and complain about them. If you don't like them, just don't read them. That's all there is to that. You know, just because you don't agree with how they write their books, doesn't give you the right to go bash them. I'm sorry, it doesn't. You know, if you follow the threefold law, what you're doing is sending out negative energy to them. You will get it back. I mean, just simple words spreads negative energy. So you really might want to think before you start writing a whole bunch of stuff or doing a YouTube video on somebody, that just because you don't agree with it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go and say something negative about them. Just don't say anything at all. A lot of controversy is on Silver Ravenwolf. Okay? Look here. These are the old school ones. I have had these books since I was a teenager. Granted, take what you will. I feel like I have learned a lot from her. I also know there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't use in my practice. Not to say that that's not what she's experienced. Not to say that's not what she believes in. Not to say that that's not part of her journey. But the key word is her journey. Not mine per se. So, I love the books. I really like her Solitary Witch Encyclopedia book. It's a great reference book. The books that I just showed, there are some controversies on different things in them. I will grant you that, yes. But overall, for a beginner, and I'm not talking about somebody that has years of knowledge or even knows the basics, but as a beginner, these are great books. And as that person begins their journey, they will pick up more books. They will go through those books, and then it will give them something to think about, knowing the information that's come out of these books. That's how I learned. And not saying you should start here. I'm just saying, as a good step, these are great books to learn with. And then as you get older, and or as your knowledge, grows in the subject, then start picking it apart. Go back and say, okay, well, this section doesn't really make sense to me. And do more research on that section. Find what it is and do the research on it. That's how you do it. You don't necessarily go on YouTube and say, oh, well, this book is horrible. No, you say, this book has controversy. It may not benefit everybody, but you can gain information from it. It's not that bad. I have read this book right here, Modern Wicca. Very good book. It goes really into the history of Wicca. So, are there some things in here that are controversial? Perhaps. But would I say, oh, I'm going to go on Facebook and be like, oh, this person sucks? No. You take what you need to take from a book and you throw the rest behind you. It's kind of like a hard drive on a computer. You take what is necessary and what is important, you put it on the hard drive, and what you do not need or becomes irrelevant to you, you delete it. Simple as that. So, it really got under my skin earlier that, we shouldn't go and say bad things about people and be judgmental over everything. It's no different than any of the YouTubers out here that talk, oh, I'm this and I'm that and I can do this, or this is what I believe, and you sit back and you're like, I don't really believe what you're saying is accurate, but you don't go on their page and say, oh, I think you're full of BS. I mean, at least I wouldn't. I would give proper respect to them. I treat people how I would like to be treated myself. So, yeah, this is kind of a rant video on a little bit of books, and I'm sorry. It really got under my skin. People really need to take action for their own thoughts and responsibilities. Thank you. Blessed be.